All right. So I'm grateful that we're back here at Angel Nyack. This is, I think, our third time here, if I'm not mistaken. So we're still working out, some of the things and getting into the flow. And I'm happy to say that we'll be having service here the first Sunday of the month.
Me too.
Until next June, at least. Yeah, yeah. So we love to come together. I like to say I love to be in the flesh. I love to be in the flesh with folks when we come into service. And of course, we have our third Sunday, our collaborative service with UUCR as well. So September, if you don't know, is Bring Your Friends and Family Month. And Rev Joan got the message. So thank you all who are here, friends of Red Joan, family of Red Joan, and others who we haven't seen in a minute. It's so wonderful to see you all joining us today. So as Jan shared, our annual theme is Rooted in Oneness, Living as Principle. And our September theme is the collective harvest. And our theme for this month is, no, that was our theme, the collective harvest. I was going to say something. I was inspired. I was inspired by this theme by Mother Nature, because we're shifting into fall. I was inspired by Tricia Hersey, who wrote this amazing book called Rest is Resistance. Q book, Rest is Resistance. I'll be referring to this book today. And also inspired by our universal principle this month, which is law of harmony. And nature knows harmony. So if we would just find and follow nature, we would be all right. Yes? Mm-hmm. So last week I shared that we are rooting ourselves in the law principle, and every principle that we root ourselves in, we marry with a spiritual practice. And so our spiritual practice this month is rest. And we are demonstrating rest by taking naps.
Oh, that's good. I got an A+.
All right. So we are in a nap commitment. And what that means is every day, take at least a 20 to 30-minute nap. Or just tune into what your body needs. Yes? All right, so how you doing with that? I know Roxanne got an A, but others, how you're doing?
F.
F. So you got an F. But you know what? We get an opportunity to start again. So Tricia says this in the book, rest is a healing portal to our deepest selves. Rest is care, rest is radical. The more we rest, the more we will wake up. Some of us are sleep deprived, exhausted. So last Sunday, we began by defining harvest and collective. So I just want to remind us of where we are. So collective means forming a whole combined. The origins are from the Latin word collectus, which means with and together. Harvest means the season when ripened crops are gathered, the collection of any resource for future use. To reap, and it comes from Old German word that means autumn, a Greek word that means fruit, and my favorite, the Latin word that means to pluck. And I found myself, I advised us last week, instead of saying WTF, we could say, what the pluck? What the pluck? And I said that a couple of times this week, seeing the harvest of separation and greed and violence that's planted in the collective consciousness of America. But here's the truth. Here's the truth. In both the natural and the spiritual sense, what we sow in consciousness is what we reap in life, individually and collectively. So my harvest impacts your harvest impacts mine. So together, what we reap, what we sow, we reap. Don't we see evidence of that? Yes. So there's a Bible verse that says, don't be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. So most of us are familiar with that, right? Yeah. But it goes further to say, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So let us not give up. I know some of us feel very tired, very weary, may feel overwhelmed, but do not give up. Our ancestors did not give up, and we are remembering what we are rooted and grounded in. And so we are keeping moving forward. Yes? Last week, we reflected on rest, the sacred frequency of fall. So remember, vibration is the movement and the frequency is the measurement of the vibration. So oftentimes when we say frequency and vibration, we act as if they're the same thing, but they are not. So one is the measurement. Frequency is the measurement of vibration. We vibrate, right? We are energy. Everything has a vibration. The frequency is the consciousness. Yes? All right, I'm glad you're with me. So the question last week I posed was, what frequency are you attuned to? Are you attuned to a frequency, a consciousness of separation, or a consciousness of love? What vibration are you emitting? Are you emitting a vibration of love or fear, of faith or worry, of prayerfulness or worriness? So here at Rockland, we emit a vibration of love. Yes? Yes. We are tuned into the oneness, the love, and the joy. And when we plant our seeds, our intentions, our qualities, we plant them in the soil of good. Remember the parable of the sower. Only seeds planted in good soil multiply beyond measure. Thoughts planted in love consciousness will multiply love beyond measure. So today, we're moving from resting to dreaming. So our message is dream, harvesting the wholeness within. So we know the popular science of mind quote. As soon as I say the first part, I want you to say the second part if you know it, all right? The popular science of mind quote by Ernest Holmes is, change your thinking. Change your mind. Yes. And the other saying that he's known for is, we are whole, healthy, and
complete.
Complete, yes. Tricia writes this in Rest is Resistance. We need rest to connect back to ourselves and dream. So I've always been a dreamer. I've been a dreamer for as long as I can remember. I have very, very vivid dreams. Most of them I remember. Some of them even come true. Some of them are dreams of protection. Some of them are dreams of celebration. But I've always paid close attention to my dreams. And as a child, one of my favorite dreams and daydream was being an only child. Oh my goodness, I'm the oldest of 4, but I would daydream about being the only child, mainly because I could have everything. Anyone have that dream? Am I the only one? All right, Sinead's here with me. All right. Tricia calls daydreaming brain love. She writes, daydreaming is one of the many forms of rest. We often don't associate daydreaming with resting, right? It's a form of rest that we can access at any time. So here's the question. When you dream, how do you see yourself? Do you see the wholeness that you are? What is the image that you imagine? We were all created in wholeness. Therefore, each one of us are whole. Nothing is missing. Nothing is broken. And to tell you the truth, nothing has to be figured out. What is required is that we remember who we are. So know that God withholds nothing. So how could you be broken? How could something be missing when we were born in wholeness? Yes? Yes?
Yeah.
Right, I don't know.
They're doing a nap for you.
A nap? You're taking a nap now? Wake up. So it's time to stop daydreaming about that which we are not. Instead, see yourself in your dreams as God sees you, whole, healthy, and complete, an expression of it. Because what we plant in consciousness, we reap in life. So I've been listening to the audio book of Reverend Ike. I love Reverend Ike. I love me some Rev Ike. And so there's a book called Rev Ike, An Extraordinary Life of Influence. And as I was listening to the book, it reminded me of another book that Rev Ike wrote. And it's called Rev Ike's Secret for Health, Happiness, and Prosperity for You. This is the book. And in the book, he shares a healing testimony as an example of the positive identification with the presence of God within us can do. So there is a presence within us that heals. And that healing is revealed through us. So I want to share this story that Rev Ike writes about in this book. He says, a young man attended one of my healing and blessing meetings at my church in New York City. He was sitting in the congregation before the meeting began. And as I walked down the aisle, as I usually do to meet and greet the people, this youngster leaned over from his seat and said to me, Rev Ike, please pray for me. I have asthma. I stopped for a moment and looked at him and said, son, I see in you a boy who has no asthma. Not long after, this young man told me a wonderful story. He said, Rev Ike, that Sunday when you said to me, son, I see in you a boy who has no asthma, something lifted from my chest, and I've never suffered from asthma since. What happened? I caused him to identify with his healthy self, with the healthy, whole presence of God within him. When I said, I see a boy who has no asthma, he got a picture in his mind. He got a picture in his consciousness, yes? Of himself being as healthy and having no asthma. He identified himself with the presence and power of God within him. He became aware of his oneness with God, and he was healed. You can become healed and healthy by accepting the healthy, whole presence of God in you. You can change your experience from one of sickness to one of health by believing in the image of yourself as healthy, whole individual, by identifying yourself with the divine image of health. I love that story because it advises us to pay attention to the picture that we hold in our mind about ourselves. It reminds us to identify who and what we are. Sometimes we identify with the world. We identify with the news. We identify with social media. We identify with celebrities. We identify with all kinds of things, but we don't identify with the truth of who we are. We identify with the world of effects. So there is an opportunity for us to identify with the invisible realm, to identify with the God in us, the possible, the truth. I want to share another healing story with you. So for years, every time the season changed, I would get sick. I attuned to the frequency of the cold season, the flu season. And I held the belief that the only time that I could get rest was when I was sick. So some of y'all know me for a long time and know this is the truth. Yes? Okay. So I was going through practitioner training led by Rev Jennifer, who's the former spiritual leader here. And I was creating that reality by what I was identifying myself with and as. I was impressing upon my subconscious mind that to change, the seasons change, that means it's time to get sick. And the good thing about getting sick is that you get to rest. Oh boy, looking forward to that. So at least 3 to 4 times a year, I would get sick. So I recognized that I was doing this. I was creating this reality for myself. And it was not serving me well. And so I started to say, I am created as God created me. I am whole, I am healthy, I am complete. And I was saying this song, I ain't gonna sing it for y'all. Maybe Sinead could sing me. The lyrics in the song goes, I am as God created me in the light, in the love, in the glory. Yeah. And so I would visualize myself as healthy. And I would daydream about repelling the cold germs like a superhero. I would be like, And my body followed that consciousness. I sowed a seed of health and reaped what? Good health. So I will tell you that since 2013, I rarely get sick. Rarely get sick. I no longer accept this notion, this idea that there is a cold season as my truth. I see myself as health and healthy. I identify with the wholeness that I am. Tricia writes, my dreaming and daydreaming are forms of rest. We don't have to grind. One of the reasons why I would get sick, because I was grinding so hard, y'all. I was so caught up in the grind, in the hustle. And the only relief that I saw for myself was to get sick. And so there is a consciousness in this country of grinding, of hustling. And for Black people, it goes deep because of our relationship with this country as enslaved people, as being viewed as product. And so the realization that we're worthy of rest is a powerful healing. I have so many visions of watching my mother work herself to the bone, staying up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, cleaning the house, making sure everything was spotless. Where does that consciousness come from? So there is a healing that we get to do, not just for ourselves, but for generations behind us and generations ahead of us. So what is it that is keeping you from dreaming a dream that is the truth of who you are? Is it the grind? Is it the hustle? Is it a belief that you're not worthy of rest? Tricia says, not resting causes disconnection and violence towards ourselves. Dreaming creates energy, allows me to connect with my deepest ideas and offers space. Sometimes we just need some space, y'all, right? Just to take a breath. Space to just be and to become free from the demands of fast-moving, non-stop culture is so important. Without it, we remain caught up in the endless cycle of trauma that grind culture creates. Grind culture keeps us in a cycle of trauma. Rest disrupts that. So I daydream daily. So we get to daydream daily. We get to ask ourselves, what picture of myself am I holding in my mind? What dreams are you impressing upon your subconscious mind? What image of yourself are you believing and identifying with? Ernest Holmes writes in the Science of Mind text, and I love when I read Science of Mind and Ernest writes something and it's all capital letters. So we know that he ain't playing, right? So this is in caps. Anything you can dream of is not too great for you to undertake if it hurts no one and brings happiness and good into your life. Let us feel that our purposes are animated and inspired from on high. And let us go forth and make our dreams come true in human experience with an invisible intelligence to guide, an immutable law to direct. Let us take our place in any legitimate activity and thus cause our dreams to come to fruition. Anything, y'all, you can dream of that causes no harm is possible. Don't limit your dreams. Don't dream small. The God of my understanding is infinite. So we get to decide what we are dreaming. Do you know that you dreamt your purpose before you came in this physical form? Some of us have just forgotten. And this has been a journey of remembering what that purpose is. So you can dream your purpose and know that your purpose is what the world needs now. Are you willing to have your dream become a reality? Anybody in here willing to have their dream become a reality? Yes. All right. Yes. Yes. Are you dreaming that reality? Yes. Yes. Are you knowing that the universal wholeness is within you? Less yeses. All right. This is harvest time, y'all. It's a time to reap the dream that you have sown. So are you willing to dream your purpose? Yes. So let us practice now. So get comfortable. And we're going to do a little dreaming in community. I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. If not, just lower your gaze. Just check your posture in your chair. Make sure you're grounded, feet on the ground. Good posture. And let's just take a breath together. And let's take another breath. Gently place your hand on your heart. And just feel the steady rhythm of your breath. This is the rhythm of nature, the rhythm of life itself. And just breathe and take that in. Know that you are in sync with nature, and nature is in sync with you. Imagine yourself in a vast golden field at harvest time. The sun is warm, the soil is rich, and all around you are ripened fruits. And these fruits represent your dream. They are symbols of the good seeds you have planted in consciousness. Take a breath. See yourself holding one of those fruits, the fruit that represents your dream, the dream that God is dreaming through you. What is the dream? Name it, claim it, identify with it. Be at one with it. Picture it in your mind. What does the dream look like? What does it feel like? What are you doing? Where are you? Who is with you? What are you wearing? Engage all of your senses. Bring into mind as many details as you can. And allow yourself to feel it as if it was happening now. So let's just take a moment and rest in this dream. You're feeling it. You see the details of it. Let us be with that dream. Let us be the dream. Start to wander, just bring yourself back gently to the dream. Hold on to this dream. Say yes to the dream. Live, move, and have your being as the dream realized. This dream is a reality in the God in you. This dream is a reality that you are harvesting through the wholeness within. Know it now as whole, complete, and already fulfilled in the mind of the Most High. Take a deep breath. Rest in this truth and repeat after me. I am whole.
I am whole.
Take a breath. Feel the wholeness that you are. I am enough.
I am enough.
Take a breath. Feel the enoughness that you are. I am complete. Feel the completeness that you are. I am God's dream come true.
I am God's dream come true.
Let us ground this dream with this affirmative prayer. Knowing that I am God's dream come true right here and right now. I recognize that God is all, one power, one presence, one infinite wisdom, one infinite wholeness, one infinite everything expressing as love, life, and light. This divine presence is everywhere and everything and everyone. And I know that I am one with this presence. I am an individualized expression of wholeness, created perfect, whole, and complete. And as this is true for me, it is true for you. I affirm that the seeds we plant in love bear a harvest of peace, joy, health, prosperity, and freedom. I affirm that the dreams arising from within us are God's dreams, already blessed, already fulfilled in divine mind. I speak the word for each one here, remembering and embodying their wholeness. We no longer identify with lack, limitation, or brokenness, but instead stand rooted in oneness, aligned with harmony, and overflowing with grace. We plant in love and we reap in joy. Gratitude fills us. We can feel it moving through us, for we know the harvest is already here, multiplied beyond measure. So we affirm together, repeat after me. I dream from wholeness. I live in wholeness. I am wholeness now. And so I release this word into the immutable law of good, knowing it returns pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Ashe, and so it is. Amen. Amen.